Should you move to Phoenix or Tucson? Honestly, guys, I hear this question all the time. So in this video today, I will be covering, what do these two cities have in common? That way you can have a general idea on even if you should move down to the two major cities here in Arizona. But we're also going to cover the main differences between living in Phoenix versus Tucson. So myself and my wife, when we were thinking about moving, we knew we were going to Arizona. So we did a little bit of research, and these are the main reasons why we chose Phoenix over Tucson. So guys, make sure you stick all the way till the end, because if you're anything like me, this will be a huge reason why you pick Phoenix over Tucson. So without further ado, let's get right into it. As I said at the start of the video, so what are some major things that they have in common? So Phoenix and Tucson have very, very similar climates. They're both here in the Sonoran Desert, and we'll touch a little bit more on weather here in a second, but just know that in general, you're gonna get very, very mild and very beautiful winters, very low wind. It is absolutely amazing here in the winter, spring, and fall time. That is a huge reason why most people choose to move to either Tucson or Phoenix, is because of how good the weather is for, we'll call it 8.5 months out of the year. So again, I moved from Nebraska. My aunt, she just moved here from Nebraska down to the Tucson area. So, and the major reason was to be able to golf all year, was to be able to go hiking, 8 months out of the year. It's such an amazing place, and the climate is a major reason why most people move down here. The winters they do, January, December, it does get a little cooler. The highs are only about 60 to 65. But if you're anything like me, when I moved here from Nebraska, that is a godsend. I could not believe that there's places like that actually exist where it's not 25 degrees in the wintertime. So climate is a major reason, and both Phoenix and Tucson, they have very, very similar climates. In the summertime, we'll touch a little bit, like I said, on this in a little bit, but Phoenix and Tucson in the summer, they both get over 100 pretty much the entire summer. There's not too many days that are going to be under 100 degrees. Phoenix is a little bit hotter, and again, we'll touch on that more in a sec. But Tucson, it does stay a little bit cooler, but from June all the way through September, you can expect highs at least 100 degrees, lows 80 to 85 every single day. So you definitely got to prepare for that, but it is a huge reason why most people move to these two cities. Another really cool thing that both Phoenix and Tucson have in common is like where I'm filming right now, I'm in the middle of the city in Phoenix right now, and the same thing goes for Tucson. There are mountains right in the heart of the city. So my sister, she lives in Denver, Colorado, and she moved out there initially to be by the mountains. Well, the mountains are an hour and a half away. That is one of the best parts about both Phoenix and Tucson, is that you have mountains right in the heart of the city. Right behind me here, I gotta show you. So where I'm walking, like that's South Mountain. Again, that is literally right in the heart of the city. That's probably 15-20 minutes from downtown Phoenix. So there's huge hiking opportunities in both Phoenix and Tucson. Down in Tucson, you have the Mount Lemmon, there we go. You can ski and golf in the same day. How cool is that? Like in the Midwest, that is like unheard of. So that is a really cool aspect that both Phoenix and Tucson have, is the outdoor life. The mountains are literally right in the heart of the city, and it is a major reason why, when we were looking, that we explored these two cities when we were moving to Arizona. Between the climate and the outdoor activities, those are two of the major reasons, but it's just so nice that like literally you can be hiking right in the heart of the city. You don't have to drive 2 hours to go up to the mountains. Right in the heart of the city, you can mountain bike, you can go hiking, and not to mention they're absolutely beautiful to look at. So mountains in both of the heart of the city, it's a huge factor. It is so pretty. The desert landscape, it is different than other areas of the country in terms of beauty, but it is so cool, and I just love staring at these things every day. It's a huge reason why we moved down here. Now the third item of what these two big cities have in common down here in Arizona is that both have major universities. So Phoenix has University of Arizona State. They're the Sun Devils, and down in Tucson they have University of Arizona. So it is really cool that you have two major universities right in the heart of the city. Tucson is definitely more of a college town. You kind of get that college town feel. This town is about 1 million people. Phoenix is 5 million. So Phoenix, unless you're in like downtown Tempe, you honestly would never know that it's there, but definitely down in Tucson, it's definitely more prevalent. I feel like Tucson too has a little bit more, like if you want to be in that small town, culture of like being in a college town, Tucson is definitely going to be more of a fit for you, because like I said, in Phoenix, honestly, unless you went to ASU or unless you live in Tempe, most people don't really care too much about the Sun Devils. But it is really nice, that both of these cities have major opportunity, not only for you as a potential student, but also as faculty and administration. They both have huge employment numbers. So if you're looking for jobs, it is really nice that both of those are located right in the heart of the city in both Phoenix and Tucson. Now, lastly, one of the major things that these two cities have in common is they both have amazing, amazing food options. The Mexican food down here is so freaking good, guys. Ever since I moved down here from Nebraska, my Mexican food consumption has quadrupled. I'm always thinking about quesadillas or enchiladas or tacos. They are so good, and the same goes down in the Tucson area. The food is so good. And what's really cool with the cuisine down here, so yes, it does have a lot of Mexican influence. It makes sense. It used to all just be Mexico, right? Until, I don't know, like the mid 1800s. But so there's a ton of that influence, but you also have a lot of, seafood influence out in California, as well as there are so many transplants that move to both of these cities. So there's a ton of like deep dish Chicago style pizza. There's a ton of, like Midwest, like hearty food, we'll call it, right? And then you also have like the, the Northeast style of like the delis. Are they as good as like those specific areas of the country? Absolutely not. But it is so nice that you have that. Arizona is a huge melting pot. There are people that come from all over the United States and Canada too. So there's a ton of cuisine elements to that. There's food from all over the country, but by far the best, absolute best food down here is the Mexican food. It is so good. No matter where you go, you can find a hole in the wall spot and it's going to be amazing. Not once have I ever found Mexican food in either of these cities that is bad. So the food scene is absolutely amazing. So if you're moving here, just know that both of these cities have that to offer. So without further ado, all right, so the main things that Phoenix and Tucson have together. So why did we pick Phoenix, right? So we will cover that next. But if you like this video so far, guys, click the like button and comment down below. I want to know your thoughts about, what do you know about either Phoenix or Tucson, and where are you moving from? I moved here from Nebraska a couple years ago, and I absolutely love it down here in Phoenix, guys. I changed my complete career because I want to help you do the same thing, and that is to relocate down here to Phoenix. So if you're thinking about making a move, we help people every single day that are just like you, that are thinking about making a move. So pause the video. Our contact information is down below. So pause the video, reach out to us. We want to help you change your life and move down here to the beautiful and sunny Phoenix, Arizona area. So without further ado, let's get right into why did we pick Phoenix over Tucson. So I think immediately, right once, we were kind of starting to look, I was 24, 25 when we were thinking about making a move down here. And one of the things that really stood out and appealed to me was the professional sports. Now, RIP to the Arizona Coyotes. They just decided to move out to Salt Lake, so RIP to them in Phoenix. But outside of that, you have the Phoenix Suns, you have the Arizona Cardinals, you have the Arizona Diamondbacks. There we go, I drew a blank. So just the fact of, it's funny, like when you're thinking about moving to a place, you're going to be thinking like, all right, I'm going to do all these activities, and then you might not actually do them, but it is so nice to have that option. So same thing like with Steph and I, right? We thought initially like, oh, we're always going to go to these games. Honestly, we really have gone to way less games than I thought, but this was a huge reason why we picked Phoenix over Tucson, is that the fact that, it does have the professional sports and that like draw. You have the ability to go to that stuff. Are you going to go there all the time? No, but you have the ability, right? It's in your backyard, and you don't have to travel, 2 hours to go to that. We talked a little bit about Arizona State. You also have that ability to go to their games, baseball, softball, football, all of that, you name it, they got it. So that was a huge aspect of why we really liked Phoenix versus Tucson, was the fact that they did have the professional sports. And not only do they have professional sports, I feel like Phoenix, if like Taylor Swift is coming, right? Or like The Weeknd or Nicki Minaj or whoever, Doja Cat, like you name the artist, I feel like 9 times out of 10 they're gonna pick Phoenix because it has a bigger city. So if you love going to concerts, if you love going, to music festivals, Phoenix is definitely gonna be a little bit better spot, because Tucson, there's only 1 million people there versus here there's 5. Artists are going to be way more drawn to go to that. So between professional sports and like the concert aspect, and there's always something going on in Phoenix, that was a huge reason why we chose Phoenix over Tucson. Now the next reason is very important, right? It's the job and the economies, right? So, if you're moving to a new city, you got to be able to pay for, the cost of living, right? So that was definitely a big draw of why we chose Phoenix versus Tucson. So again, Phoenix has over 5 million people, and we'll touch on a little bit more on that in a sec. But, so at the time it was COVID, so we were both working from home, but we knew eventually that we wanted to get out and like be a part of the community and really meet people and have a job that was more on site. And so having, just knowing the fact that there was 5 times as many people, we're like, all right, that is going to be way easier to find a job in Phoenix versus down there in Tucson. And honestly, that is very, very, very true. Steph, she just got a new job the other day, and she said it was way easier. There's way more jobs here available in Phoenix versus Tucson. So, a direct experience with her of, actually trying to find new work. But then for myself, like I said, I was working from home for a corporate company. It was terrible. I was just isolated all day. Now I switched careers. Now I help people just like you that are thinking about making a move and move them into their new home. So what is really cool about starting your own small business is that there's so much more opportunity. There's 5 times as much opportunity here in Phoenix than there is down in Tucson. So yes, there's more competition, but there's also way more people. There's way more market share. So the jobs and economy, that was a huge aspect of why we picked, the Phoenix area versus Tucson. Now in terms of like general statistics, Phoenix does have a little bit higher wages as well. There's a lot more tech companies here. There's a lot more headquarters here in the Phoenix area, especially in like Scottsdale or northern Phoenix, or in like the Tempe area, especially like along Tempe Town Lake. It's actually really pretty, all the office buildings there. But so huge opportunities, and the average salary in the Phoenix area is just over about $56,000. Down in Tucson, it's only about $49,000. Now, cost of living in Phoenix is a little bit higher, but again, it's just a fact of bigger city, more opportunity, and a bigger chance to grow. So that was a huge reason why we picked Phoenix over Tucson, was there was just way more opportunity here in Phoenix for, to grow your jobs, to grow into a bigger economy and everything like that. So bigger jobs and everything here in the Phoenix area. Now, we've touched on this a lot throughout the video so far, but there's 5 million people here in Phoenix. That was a huge draw for us. So we moved from Omaha, Nebraska, and honestly, the dynamics of Omaha and Lincoln, if you're from like the Midwest area or Nebraska, is very similar to like Phoenix and Tucson. So like Omaha's like the big hustling city. There's way more going on. Then Lincoln's like the smaller college town. It's the exact same dynamic here as in Phoenix down to Tucson. So there's 5 million people here, and why is that a benefit? Of why did we love that aspect? We already knew what living in a town of 1 million people felt like. So we wanted something bigger. We wanted to feel like you're going to a big city, right, where there's all the opportunity and everything's abundant. So that was a huge aspect. But also with 5 million people, like there's so much opportunity. There's so much diversity here in Phoenix too. So like the cities of like Gilbert is very, very different than like Surprise, and that's all kind of in the Phoenix umbrella. Also Phoenix is a lot easier to get into. We'll touch on that in a sec. But again, because there's 5 million people, there's a bigger airport. There's actually 2 airports. There's a bigger downtown. There's just way more going on. And so we love the aspect of moving to a huge city. And that's why we picked Phoenix was, there's 5 million people here. And it doesn't feel like it, like in New York or LA, like everybody's kind of on top of each other. Phoenix is so spread out. You never feel like you're on top of each other at all. So a huge reason. We just loved the fact that there was so many people and so much opportunity. And we absolutely, I'm telling you guys, we love it here. I changed my job and my career just so that I could help people move to Phoenix because of how much I absolutely love being down here. So moving to a town of 5 million people was a huge benefit for us. Now, I briefly just touched on it a little bit, but my wife and I, we absolutely love to travel, and we have a ton of family. We didn't know anybody here when we initially moved here. So the fact that it has a major international airport was a huge, huge bonus for us. Honestly, once we started looking into that, like the game was kind of over. We knew we were going to Phoenix because 2 years ago, once we got married, our honeymoon, we went to Greece. Guys, we found a round trip flight for $600 out of Phoenix to Greece. Like, you will not find that in Tucson. You're gonna have to go to, 1, maybe 2 other connecting airports. Phoenix, we flew to Detroit, and then boom, we're over into Athens. So that is a huge, huge benefit. There's so many flights that are going over to Asia. If you love to travel to like Southeast Asia or Japan or Korea, go to the Korean airport, by the way. It's absolutely amazing. You can shower in there. Really, really cool experience. But the international airport, and one thing that's really, really cool with the Phoenix airport as well, so there's 2. So there's one out in the southeast part of Gilbert Mesa. That's Mesa Gateway. They go into a lot of like niche and small towns. So like think Bozeman, Montana, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Boise, Idaho. There's so many more that they go into. Legion is the main flyer there. But the nice thing with Sky Harbor is it's right in the middle of downtown. So no matter pretty much where you are at in the Phoenix Valley, you're only about 40 to 45 minutes away. We just love that aspect. Again, my sister, there's so many experiences of comparing like our experience to my sister's because she moved from Omaha to Denver, right? Smaller town to a big city. We're doing the same thing. And the nice thing is that like when they go to the airport, it's an hour and it's always a pain getting out there. Phoenix is super easy. Where we live now, it's only 18 minutes from gate to our home. So we love that aspect of that. There's a major international airport right in the heart of the city and that we can go nonstop everywhere. Steph, my wife, she's always on Google Flights looking at cheap flights to Seattle or Omaha or Florida or Miami or New York. Like there's so many different options that you can take because of how big it is. And that goes kind of back and it ties into there's 5 million people, they need a major airport. So definitely a huge reason why we chose Phoenix over Tucson was the international airport. Now the next reason, this will sound a little interesting, but there's way more suburbs down here in Phoenix. It makes sense, obviously. There's 5 million people that are down here versus 1 million down there. Most of Tucson is just gonna be all of Tucson, unless you go up into like the northern area, like Oro Valley or Marana or the Catalina foothills. That's honestly the really cool thing about being in the Phoenix area, is there's so many different suburbs and there's so many amazing cool little pockets of neighborhoods. So like when we first moved here, we were living in like the Midtown Phoenix area. That is like old school. There's mom and pop restaurants everywhere. Everything's kind of like very tightly close together. Feel like you're living in like a mega modern city. Honestly, it's so cool. My heart still loves that area, and honestly I miss it all the time. But then what's really cool is that you have like the Old Town Scottsdale area, where it's like nightclubs, and there's a billion restaurants, there's tourists, there's always stuff going on in like the Old Town Scottsdale area, mega shopping. You go up to northern Scottsdale, you have like mega multi-million-dollar mansions, and then you come down here to Ahwatukee foothill. Like there's just so many different areas of Phoenix, and it's just so diverse. And Tucson, you're gonna have like the Tucson, the city life, and then you're gonna have kind of suburb living. Obviously you have that in Phoenix too, but you have so much diverse options. Like look at this neighborhood, like it's literally just like right in the heart of the mountains, and then if you go 10 minutes east, you're in like the heart of the suburbs in Chandler and Gilbert. So where there's amazing schools and low crime. So everything, like Phoenix has every single type of living option that you could ever imagine. They got condos, townhouses, manufactured living, regular suburban living, multi-million-dollar homes. They literally have everything. It's so cool of how diverse it is. And that is honestly one aspect of my job I've really loved, is uncovering these little pockets within the city that people are looking for. There's like little historical neighborhoods that feel that you're straight out of the 1950s. So it's just so diverse. Man, I could go on and on about this, but just know that Phoenix, this is one of my favorite aspects about living here, is how diverse the suburbs are and just how diverse the neighborhoods are. You literally can get every single type of house or condo or townhouse that you ever could imagine down here in the Phoenix area. So that was a huge reason of why we love living here. It's way more diverse in terms of like suburbs and different types of living than in the Tucson area. Now guys, 2 more, and again, make sure you stick around all the way to the last one, because if you're anything like me, this is going to be a major selling point, and it definitely was for myself. But for this next one, you guys might think I'm crazy, but I love living in Phoenix just because it's a little bit hotter. So typically on average, it's about, it doesn't sound like much, but it's about 3 to 4 degrees hotter. So like in the summer, maybe 110 up here, it's gonna be 105 down in Tucson. And you're like, Eric, that doesn't make any sense. Why would that be a positive? Guys, I cannot stand being cold. Like in the winter time, I've lived here for 3 winters. I'm starting to get like, I put like a jacket, a sweatshirt, and a vest on if it's 60 degrees. So I love the aspect that Phoenix does get a little bit hotter. And one thing too, I do not like thunderstorms. I cannot stand them at all. Go watch our Arizona versus Florida video. That's a huge reason why I picked Arizona. But Phoenix also gets way less. They get 50% less rain than down in the Tucson area. And I love the golf. And again, stay tuned to the last one, because that's a major reason. But I also cannot stand wind. And Phoenix is a little bit less windy than Tucson as well. So overall, I think Phoenix has a little bit better weather. My aunt down in Tucson would definitely go tooth and nail and really fight me on that one, because she loves the winter the weather down there, even though it does get a little cooler. But I love being hot. I love being warm, and the weather in Phoenix, I think, is just a little bit better. Again, you guys might think I'm crazy that I would want to move somewhere that's hotter, but I love it, and the fact that I never have to wear, put on like snow boots or anything like that is a huge, major plus. And I just love being hot. Even in the summers, it's not that bad. Just stay in early, or stay inside the middle of the day, and you'll be just okay. And you're gonna love it here. So that was a huge reason. Definitely love that it's warmer here in Phoenix, less windy and less rain than our neighbors down in Tucson. All right, guys, again, if you like this video, make sure you click the like button and comment down below. I really want to know your thoughts about my list so far, and what have you heard about moving to Phoenix or Tucson? Do you have family here? And where are you coming from? I really want to know. I moved here from Nebraska, and I'm telling you guys, I absolutely love it here. But the #1 reason why I picked Phoenix over Tucson is the amount of golf courses. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, you guys know I absolutely love playing golf. It's the main reason why I moved down here. Phoenix has over 200 different golf courses here in the Phoenix Valley. That is crazy. Like, think of yes, there's 5 million people, but guys, think of that, 200 200 golf courses in the Phoenix and Scottsdale area. Phoenix is a huge golfing city. There's absolutely amazing, pristine courses everywhere in the Phoenix Valley. Just message us and we'll get you in touch with the best ones. Compared to our neighbors down in Tucson, they only have about 44 in the greater metro. Now, I will say the one thing that Tucson does have, they have some really, really high-level golf courses. PGA Tour goes down there, the LPGA, the Champions Tour, so they have huge major golf courses. So I'm not saying that Phoenix has better golf courses per se, they just have way more. And honestly, I've only ever played one bad course. Comment down below and I'll message you which one down here in Phoenix. Outside of that, they're all in really, really good condition. You can get amazing golfing deals at the city parks and definitely in the summer. So Phoenix, it's a golf mecca. I'm telling you, there's golf courses everywhere down here. They have country clubs. Honestly, not as many as like out in like the Northeast area, but there's over 200 different options. I get asked all the time, Eric, have you played this course? Have you played this course? I always say no, because like there's so many different courses and there's so many amazing courses. So definitely a huge reason of why I picked Phoenix over Tucson is the diversity and the amount of golf courses. It's so good down here, guys. Do I love desert golf? Is it my favorite? No, but it is nice. Not every single course, you know, has this for rough. So guys, that wraps it up of the main differences between if you should move to Phoenix or Tucson. Guys, I hope you liked this video. And if you do, again, click the like button and comment down below. And if you're thinking about making a move to Phoenix, guys, please reach out to us. I love hearing from you and hearing how I can help you guys change your life by moving down here to the beautiful and sunny Phoenix, Arizona area. So check out the other videos on our channel, and thanks for watching.